sights, sounds, and information just for you from your friends at ASM.
Welcome to the turn of night.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, just tell your story like it happened.
I know we're getting into the holiday season, but my story takes place on Halloween night. Since there was no Halloween last year because of the pandemic, my wife and I bought some extra candy and put up some real cool looking decorations and carved up a really big jack-o'-lantern. Well, sure enough, by 5:30, kids were ringing the doorbell and yelling trick or treat. There were the usual costumes. Cartoon characters, superheroes, monsters, and the classics, ghosts and skeletons. It was great to see all the neighbors out having fun. Well, I guess it'd be around 8 o'clock the street started dying down a bit, and my wife said she was going to go pick up her sister and her sister's husband. My brother-in-law's a big jovial fellow, and they wanted to come over and have some drinks with us out on the back patio while the weather was still nice. So I slowly started bringing in the decorations, and I noticed a couple of kids sitting across the street, both of them wearing jackets and ball caps. I didn't know what characters they were supposed to be dressed up as, but I just assumed that they were a couple of trick-or-treaters. I slowly started bringing in the decorations, and it would be around 8:30 I decided to bring in the jack-o'-lantern because no kids had come to the house for a few minutes. You can just tell. So, as I was bringing it in, the two kids approached me. They asked if they could come in and use the phone, and being a good neighbor, I said absolutely. There was something off about them, but what do I know? They're just kids. I didn't even know what they were supposed to be dressed up as, but once they were in the house, I noticed that something was wrong. They didn't have plastic pails or shopping bags or pillowcases even for trick-or-treats. There was something different about them. I asked them what they were supposed to be dressed up as, and they both looked up at me, their eyes completely black. Before I could hand them my cell phone, the older one spoke. "We need to call our parents. They will be coming to get us soon." At that moment, I felt completely nauseous and sudden case of vertigo. I fell to the floor, and the older one spoke. "Our parents are coming. They will be here soon." Luckily for me at that moment, my wife's car pulled into the driveway. My brother-in-law, big jovial guy, came bounding into the house in his Dracula costume carrying a case of beer, loud as ever. And as I looked up, I saw the two kids running away out the front door. I must have passed out for a few minutes. I came to, I was on the couch. My wife, her sister, and my brother-in-law asking me what was wrong. I thought maybe for a second it was something I ate, but my wife and I ate the same food that day. I had a cup of coffee from a local shop earlier, but it couldn't have been that. It had to have been those kids. There was something off about them. And now that I think about it, there was almost an air of evil. I wouldn't have said anything, but last week I saw those same two kids again, walking down the street in a neighborhood almost a mile away from where I live. They're not human. If they ask to come in your house, don't let them in. Just don't.
The lights are on as the evening shadows are creeping in. Hopefully, you won't get caught in the turn of night.